from 1:48 to 2 minutes in the performance, you'll notice something very cool that happens, and it's between me and the drummer, Akita Tana. What happens is I start playing a repeating motif. Here's the phrase. And then I move it down to play over the A7. I'll explain the harmony in a second. But what's really cool, if you listen to the performance, is that the drummer starts picking up and playing those ideas with me on his cymbal and on his snare drum in a very polyrhythmic way. But he's playing and accentuating the accents of what I'm doing. By the way, this is a very common jazz idea. This line could sound like the beginning. Obviously, I don't play the last two notes there, but this is part of the classic piece. It's a little bit of a snippet from Thelonious Monk's Straight No Chaser. But except I'm leaving out the last two notes because it doesn't relate to the harmony of what I'm doing. But again, you'll notice how much excitement it generates with the audience, the listeners respond to it, and my fellow musicians, so much so that, as I said, the drummer picks up and is actually playing those accents with me. And so what's happening now, this piece is very similar, the harmonic structure of this piece is very similar to modal pieces. We've got a D minor going on for a long period of time, and then I go back to the 5 chord, which is the A7, and this is very similar to what I talked about in Jazz Anatomy Volume 1, which is how to play over modal pieces where you've got one chord going for a long period of time. Well, this is one way to do it. You take a motif that will fit over the chord, and then you can shift it into different areas. I could really move it in any kind of pattern as long as where I'm starting and where I'm ending resolves to the chord that I'm playing over. In this case, I played it over D minor right here, and then over the A7. But again, I could move it in any type of intervals as long as the starting point and the ending point is making sense. And this creates some very startling colors and some really nice harmony. So when you find a riff or a motif or a lick or a pattern that you like, you should really explore with it and see the different ways that you can use it, because when you have a modal piece, or again, we've got one chord going on for a long period of time, you can explore what we call superimposing other harmony on top of that chord. It's just like if I was playing chords, I don't have to just stay on this one D sus chord. I could decide to go. And as long as my starting and ending chords resolve back to the D minor, I've created some movement within a static harmony. And so that's a really kind of cool thing to do, and it's what makes modal playing very exciting. I remember when I was first learning how to play over modal pieces, I was very scared because I thought, well, what am I going to do with, I got this one D minor going on for, 16 measures. What am I going to do? Well, what you do is you start implying other harmony, and that's what's going on here.